Hello everyone and welcome to another New World video. My name's Brian if you happen to be new to the channel, but if you're a part of this 16,442 of y'all who've hit that subscribe button, who've joined the 20% of you guys who are subscribed, thank you so much for being here, especially for the 1,000 of y'all who've just joined in the last 28 days. I believe in transparency. I like to show numbers. I like to tell you exactly what's going on so that you have the best information possible. And that's just something that I do, maybe a little bit different from others, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the transparency here at the channel. Now, I was almost about to make a joke about, now this video is sponsored by nobody, because generally speaking, everybody who asks me to put a sponsorship in these videos, I do not support, and I'm not going to go and do that to you. So thanks so much for being here. If you enjoyed that aspect, if you feel like the video earns it, hit that like button, as it's a great way of supporting the content. I'm going to put let's just have a humble 50 likes on this video because of the nature of the topic. This isn't overall negative, but something feels pretty weird. In a recent video over at JOddity, he writes, New World's first expansion is missing one huge thing. If you guys aren't following or aren't subscribed to Jay, he's almost to 10,000 subs over there, so I'm gonna include a link to this video. Go give him some support. He recently made the push into full-time content creation, so I'm rooting for him. He's braver than I am. I'm going to continue to always sit back and take kind of a more measured approach, a more enjoyable approach to my I can't imagine the stress that it would be to be full-time as a parent, but salute to you, Jay. Anyway, he talks about this and he makes some really good points and ones that I feel like I want to expand on. We've seen now the rush. We've seen people jump back in to the game as expected with an 11% gain pre-expansion hype. This is nothing in comparison to what we've seen with the Brimstone Sands, the 1-year launch. Now here we are starting into year 2 of this game's life, and there's still so much more to see. Now, while any growth and returning players is a good and positive sign, I've already seen people asking, how can I pre-order the expansion? What do I need to be doing? And so the answer to those questions is you can't actually pre-order the expansion. It will go on sale on October 3rd. And here we are with less than a week away from the launch. And yes, people will return, people will play, but from a marketing and from a hype perspective, I haven't seen too much New World, and that's what I want to explore with you guys today. But now let's go ahead and go back to the roadmap just for a minute and take a look at fall and take a look at winter. And this is essentially where I start to delve more into the hopium. You can call it copium, but we are definitely feeling like a lack of hypium, and I think perhaps that ultimately is for the best. Hype is not a predeterminate to success. We've seen hype come in, and obviously the original hype of this game continues to loom large with some record-setting and breaking numbers. That does mean that this game already exists in the hands of many people, so what's it going to take to bring people back? Beyond the expansion itself, clearly marketing and more. But Season 3, MSQ update, perk balance updates, seasonal and world events, territory influence updates, season pass. Basic sense here. The expansion, we're going to get the new story, a zone transformed, new expedition mounts, new weapon, new heart rune, and gear score increase, with obviously a level score increase, etc. This in and of itself, I think, is going to be a pretty exciting time for us all as players. But one of the things I was even saying 6 months ago was some of these items in Season 4, I really wish they were able to get in Season 3. And that ends up being the cross-world arenas and expeditions. One of the things we've seen when this game turns on the hype, turns on the marketing, the flood of new players ends up causing a lot of stress and problems, because when you think of how some games handle it, Destiny is a good example, Blue Protocol is a good example, the game just literally handles it for you, so you're not necessarily having to, like, what server are you on, or do I need to transfer, and more. And cross-world expeditions and arenas, adding into the cross-world OPR will be a net positive. That's why the fact that it is set for Season 4 and for the winter is an interesting time. Now, A couple other things are going on in gaming behind the scenes for us all, right? We've seen so many delays that shifted out of 2021, 2022 and into this year. There are so many games that when you start to think about the marketing and what we're thinking of a slow kind of rhythmic drum beat of this game and what it could mean for us as gamers, I wonder if we'll start to see them let the expansion, come out and then start to work on more of the marketing either in November or December, or honestly, when it comes down to it, the thing that this roadmap needs, and this is one of the things that I felt like the devs need to do, is while they're putting out a roadmap for the game for what they feel like they can deliver on, because this roadmap is a promise to each and every one of us, and when they deliver on that, that helps establish trust. This is an important aspect of it. We're actually seeing World of Warcraft do the same thing, and this is an all-in kind of response to what Final Fantasy XIV has done with its consistency and its delivery, where 14 does not need a roadmap, because if you've been following that game for any period of time, you pretty know what's happening. You know what's happening in October for this game. You know what's happening next summer for this game. You have a good consistent, because they have been that consistent. Whereas in both Blizzard and in Amazon, they haven't yet. And so roadmaps kind of give us a map, obviously. It's in the name. But then essentially, as they deliver those things, then we can kind of see that. And as we move into winter for Season 4, what is beyond that? And this is the call that I've continued and I'm going to make in this video. I would still love to see them talk about that 10-year plan that they said that they've committed to. We're entering into year 2. This is an important time for the game. Generally, MMOs feel like they really truly come into their own roughly around year 3. So we're going to be entering into, I think, one of the most pivotal years in this game's history. What I'd love to see, though, is that even when it comes down to not necessarily making promises, but it would be really cool to see a 2024 roadmap and then maybe even a 2025 roadmap to sit down and say, hey, the expansion's out. Next October, the new expansion drops, and then essentially just so that players who are considering to step into Season 4 or Season 5 can start to clearly see that further and further out, it's a little bit more vague. They could talk about their general theories and philosophies around the game and where they want to kind of grow it and how they overall what they want to do. Like, for example, controller support and console support. Like, are these on their wish list due to the nature that they've announced these features for their next MMO? I have to believe that these are a part of the plan, but we'll ultimately have to wait and see. One way or the other, I will give you guys the news information as it becomes available and give you guys my thoughts on it, because I think this is an important part of what it means to be a New World fan and a gamer. Clearly, there will be plenty more road bumps in our future, but when it comes down to it, I'm very excited to see what this expansion does in terms of the numbers. I think that's going to be the one thing that we'll come back to and do another state of the game here sometime, maybe at around the end of October, early November, as we look forward to the last update on the roadmap. And while I know that there's more to come and I'm excited to learn about what that means, I would still wish that they could communicate that just a little bit better. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on any of this. What do you think? What do you feel? Does this feel kind of weird for you because of the expansion? But also, when you're stepping into every RPG that is just hitting on all cylinders, it's a tough market to be in right now in terms of just game time, and that's where we're gonna leave it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I will see you in the next one, but until then, take care.